The spiritual journey is not what everybody see of you. It's all about you and the divine and how you want to connect. You are a spirit having a human experience. So dive deep into your spirit and see who you truly meant to be in this lifetime. Welcome to the Essence of True Self podcast, where we affirm I am the son of my creation. Here I focus on mindfulness, limiting belief, self-care, spirituality, and overall becoming your true self. I'm your host, Oriana, a book, tea, and self-development lover. I give you tips and tricks of what I learned on my self-development journey so you can apply to yours. If you're interested, keep listening. Hey, welcome back to the Essence of True Self podcast, and I'm your host, Oriana, and I hope your week, your day, your evening is going pretty well. If not, of course, I'm sending you love and light in this time. And before we get into anything, of course, we're going to say our breathings and say our affirmations now. Let's get into it. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And now we're going to say our affirmations. I am the son of my creation. I am the son of my creation. I am the son of my creation. I hope that bring you back into the present moment, ground you, and being open and receptive of what messages I have for you today. And as you can tell by this title, it's called The Truth About Spirituality. As you can tell by the last couple of episodes, I've been talking about spirituality just a tad bit, just sneaking it in here and there about like God, source, universe is always on your side. That's pretty much how I consider spirituality. And let's talk about it because I feel like this new age spirituality we live in now is just like listen, glam, everybody's love and light. And it is not. It is not. And the sad truth is really not. It's pretty much spirituality. Let's start off with that when you first came into this world, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You was always having a spiritual being having a human experience, but also having like a spiritual experience always. But you had to accept that spirituality. If you don't accept that, of course you're not gonna notice spirituality in general, like spirit things. And spirituality pretty much start with you and how you create a relationship with the divine, God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. And it's only about you and divine. And of course you spread your spirit out into the world. But spirituality is pretty much learning about life in general, how to maneuver life and how to see the great things in life within this human experience. It's pretty much spirituality is just connecting with your own spirit, returning to your divine purpose, the divine spirit within yourself, and connecting it with the divine, with God, with source, with Mother Nature, whatever you want to call the divine. But you have to see that spirituality is not something to be like, oh, it's love and light. You're not going to deal with no darkness. Sad truth is that's not the case. Spirituality is pretty much facing yourself and what life is trying to teach you in this moment. Spirituality is going through the darkness and facing your darkness, facing yourself. And a lot of people don't talk about the hardest thing to do in this journey is facing yourself, facing all the things that you've done in your life and becoming more aware and consciousness about yourself and the world around you and what the divine is trying to send to you. Because ever since we was born, a little sperm, a little seed, and then we flourish into a human form, we was having a spiritual experience, but we never acknowledged that. We never was educated about that. Besides religion, there's a strict way of having your spirituality. But spirituality is free flowing. It's created how you want to create it, however relationship you want to with the divine. And the sad truth is that it's not always living light in the crystals and the glams. And of course, that's a great part of spirituality, but spirituality is really facing yourself, seeing the truth in all things within yourself, creating that relationship with you and the divine God, source, universe, and connecting with your own spirit. Because spirituality have spirit in it and it have I in it. It's pretty much facing who you are and who you want to become in this lifetime and who you want to evolve into. And it has taught me so much about that, just to reflect more on myself. And that's pretty much how I started my spiritual journey. But we're going to get into that at the end, towards the end of this video. But yeah, everything that's outside of us are tools to help us evolve in this spiritual journey. For example, like crystals and meditation, and what's other things that we do? Other spiritual things, readings, that's helping us to elevate in our life. It's not to be used as a scapegoat to not actually face yourself. Because the more high vibrational you become, the more aware you become about yourself and the things around you and the people around you. And turning back to yourself, reflecting, what am I reflecting out into the world? Why am I keep attracting certain things in my life? Spirituality is really just facing all things within you, and everything that's outside of you is helping you elevate if you allow it to. Elevate your spirit, elevate your mind, elevate your soul. And spirituality is becoming harmony and finding peace and being more mindful and finding wellness on this journey. On this journey to actually face yourself for who you really are, who've been this whole time, and willing to face that and willing to accept every part of you in this time. That's why I call my podcast The Essence of True Self, because your essence shows to people before you show your true self to them. What I mean by that, the essence is like the energy, your aura you show to people. And you pretty much giving them like, oh, this person is dead. But your personality shows you who you really are, how you express that essence within yourself. And the essence, the aura, is the spirituality of it all. How do you want to show up? How do you want to reflect what you have learned on this life journey? This life is teaching you what you're not seeing within yourself. It's reflecting back to you what you are doing to yourself, what you are projecting into the world. So how are you recreating that to center yourself, to find wellness and wholeness within yourself? That's how I see spirituality. It's connecting with your own spirit and divine and all the other spirits and deities that you want to work with in that time. We can talk about all that other stuff in a different time, in a different video. If you want more about that, comment below. But yeah, everything around you is a tool to elevate you. The main source of your spirituality is you. Is you, not the people outside of you, is you. Facing you, accepting you, addressing you, and creating a relationship with the divine. Are you looking for a spiritual self-development community? And are you looking for a tribe that helps you grow and elevate your mind, but also have a witchy spirituality aspect of it? If you really want that, check out my Patreon, and it'll be in the description box below. And it's all about becoming your true self. If you want to work together as a team or like a community to help us elevate, we'll be doing book clubs, spiritual practices, what's the differences about spirituality and religion, and being more open-minded about other cultures and belief, while we read witchy books as well for my witchy girls out there, to pretty much get into the herbalism of life and living life in a ever evolving way. But if you really want to tap into the Patreon, it's in the link below, in the show notes, the description, and I hope to see you there. Please join, and we can elevate and grow together. Because the divine already know. It's been with you the whole life. Once you was born into this world, it's been with you this whole time. So, how do you view spirituality? What do you see spirituality as? Because a lot of times we see all these little spells and like, oh, I did this to a person, this, but like nobody talks about how you have to face yourself, grow within yourself, but also what is the word is reflecting to you. This life is teaching you all kinds of things about yourself and your journey, but are you willing to pay attention to what it's showing you? Are you really ready to accept what's really happening and creating that relationship with your own spirit and the divine, facing yourself and respecting other spiritual cultures in the process? Because we all have different cultures and spiritual ways of expressing our spirituality, our soul purpose, our destiny in this lifetime. And spirituality is something that's personal, but you have to take in consideration other people's belief as well. It's like it's our journey, but every spiritual person and a spiritual journey is going to be different from yours. You can take tips and tricks from other people, but take it with a grain of salt. Follow your own spirit. And I'm also going to do a video about like discernment and learn how to know which one is what's for you and what's not for you, and how it will resonate with your spirit. And I always say mindful work is the great way to connect with your spirit. Reflection, writing down, meditation, to be able to see your true spirituality, your own spirit within. Like I was saying, but everybody's spiritual journey is gonna be different. And I always say, don't do things to others if you don't want to do it to yourself, because karma is real. Don't matter if you're spiritual, you're a witch, you're a bruja, you're a hoodoo, a root worker. None of that matters. Karma is real. And then it will come back tenfold. It depends on what you do. So just be mindful. And I always say focus and reflect on yourself first before you dabble into like the spiritual practices, like candle working and all that other stuff. It takes time to build up to that. But the main question, what do you want out of your spiritual journey? What is your true purpose of your spiritual journey? And mine is to reflect and really become in my true authenticity and express my true self, my essence of my true self to the world, so I can attract people that's like-minded to me. Life is showing you who you are, like always I say. But spirituality is something that you want to assist you on this journey to bring wholeness and wellness to your own journey. Because your journey is not going to be like everybody else. Spiritual journey have an I in it. An I. Spiritual have an I in it. So it start with you. It start within, not outside of you. Everything outside of you is always a plus. So, are you trying to start a spiritual journey because somebody else told you you need to? Or are you willing to do that for yourself? Are you allowing and accepting to on your spiritual journey? Because this is all of how you want to express yourself in this world, how you want to connect with the spiritual realm, and taking the action steps to doing one by one and not rush into it, because a lot of people rush into it, and that's where spiritual psychosis come into it. Taking one step at a time, because this is a lifetime journey. This is not a race to see who's the best, the greatest of spiritualness, because nobody's gonna be the best of the greatest, because they all have to learn to grow and face within themselves, but also knowing the risk what it takes to dabble into the spirituality stuff, because it's not a game. It's not a game. So facing yourself, realizing that everything comes with a price, but also enjoying your life in the process, because like I said, you are having a human experience. Your spirit having a human experience. You decided you want to come back down here and relive the life you want to. But the main key of the spirituality is coming back to yourself And what was the reason you came down here to live this human experience? How do you want to express yourself? How do you want to connect with your spirit team, your ancestors, the divine? How is that helping you with your wellness? How is that helping you be grounded and sure within yourself? And a lot of people think, oh, when you start this spiritual journey and you start facing yourself and you start seeing spirits and stuff like that, the more you connect with yourself, the more truth will be revealed to you. Let me say that again. The more you connect with yourself, the more truth will be revealed to you. A lot of times they tell us it's demonic to see spirits or hear spirits or different like things like that, but it's not. It's always been here. And spirituality is not a box. It's an evolution growing plant. But it depends on how you nurture your spiritual abilities, your spiritual journey, the way you nurture your spirit in general. How do you want to add and subtract from that? And I'm also going to do another video about like spiritual hygiene, to how to protect yourself, cleanse yourself from all things that doesn't serve you. A lot of times we holding on other people's baggage and idea of us, and it's not really us. So how are you trying to show up in this world? Spiritual journey is always coming back to who you are. How do you want to express yourself, and how do you want to walk into your purpose? And how do you want to add tools in your life to help you elevate your mind, your spirit, to connect, to have that relationship with the divine? And don't allow nobody to restrict your spiritual journey. You have to figure out how you want to move in it. And you have to take responsibility of what you are reflecting out into this world as well. Like I said, it's not love and light all the time. Facing yourself is one of the hardest things ever. So, yeah, that was just my little 2 cents about like what is spirituality and creating a relationship with spirit and the divine and God or source, the universe, however you want to call it, and not follow what everybody is saying what spirituality is. Take it with a grain of salt and you define what spirituality means to you. And how do you want to add that into your life? How do you want to elevate your life with spirituality? It's not always evil. It's not always negative. It's not always demonic. You have to make the choice of what is for you and what's not. So, yeah. But, yeah, let's just talk about how I got into my spirituality. Child, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. First, let me just say I was not very spiritual. I grew up in a very religious household, and I was just very and I was not for it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I just stopped, quote unquote, believing. I knew it was something out there, but I never just said, "Oh, this is what I want to do. This is the religion I'm gonna follow. This is my spiritual path." I didn't. It took me until I moved out of my childhood home and to be out here doing things I don't need to be doing. If you're catching my drift, smoking, drinking, schmexing it up with people that don't even needs to be smashing it up with, and got caught up in a situationship, and that did not turn out pretty well. I got emotional tied with that person, and you can say we made soul ties, if you catch what I'm saying. And I didn't believe in none of that stuff until that situation had happened. And I made the decision of just saying, you know what, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. And I always say the choice always starts with you. So whatever you decide to do, you have to make the choice. And once you make that decision, you know you have to make the action behind it. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they know what might happen next. But we never know what's going to truly happen until it happens. But yeah, it was just me and this person. It just didn't work out well. And I was also doing other things on the side. It wasn't just that person, it was other people on the side too. So it was never really good what I was going down to. And I was also avoiding how I really felt on the inside because I was never very confident and sure within myself, and I never really trusted myself. I always trusted people outside of me. So it was very hard for me to actually face that within me. And then until I just decided enough is enough. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of draining myself. I'm tired of avoiding things within me. And once I cut off that person, other people I was talking to at that time, I just decided to go inward and reflect inward. And let's just say it was one of the painful and rewarding thing I ever did. The most rewarding and painful thing I ever did. Because facing yourself is very hard, and the things that you went through in your life and your childhood, and it was very hard for me to face that. And the more I faced myself, the more I tapped into the spiritual realm and wondering, like, what am I feeling? What am I connected to? And a lot of times we take on other people's stuff and avoiding us, it's avoiding our spiritual abilities and our spiritual life as a whole. Because you can't just have a human experience without the spiritual experience, because they are duality of each other. They coexist. So if you acknowledge spirituality, if you acknowledge the human realm, you might as well just acknowledge the spiritual realm as well. But just be mindful. Because I didn't realize how spiritual I was until I was a kid and having spiritual experiences as I grew up and reflect on my childhood and how I was raised. And if you grew up in a household that was like, this is not accepted, I had myself away just to fit the mold of what my family wanted me to be or what society wanted me to be. And not really giving myself enough credit to really face myself. And once I did, it deepened my connection with myself, but also the divine. Going outside in nature, asking questions to see what happens, and reflecting on the times that I had those moments, seeing spirits, hearing spirits, knowing things before they happen, dreaming about things that before they happen. It was very shocking. The more I dig deep into my subconscious and removing the blockages, the walls that I've been putting up for so long, it helps me see who I am and who I am becoming. And once I broke that off and just pretty much reflected on the inside of what I am as a person and realized that I always been a spiritual being, I never couldn't just hide from that. So I took time to actually reflect and heal and meditate and cry. A lot of crying and reflecting. Okay? And doing a lot of reading and research to make sure I'm not dabbling in something that I'm not resonating with. And going with my spirit and what my spirit is leading me to. And yeah, that's pretty much how I started. I was pretty much in some stuff that I didn't need to be in, and I just decided to reflect inward, and that's how I started to see my true self and my spiritual life as a whole, my spiritual journey, and facing who I am as a person and reflecting on that and being okay with it after a while, because it took me a minute, because it took me, how long have it been? It's been 2 years now. 2 years? It been 2 years, y'all. It been 2 years since I've been doing on this little journey to actually take it seriously, take it very seriously, and hone in on who I am and who I really want to be in this lifetime. So yeah, that's my little perspective on spirituality, and of course I'm gonna make other videos about like different parts of spirituality and how it correlates. But from a spiritual perspective, just face it. That's why I have the Intellectual Self podcast. But yeah, I just hope this helps somebody. And knowing you're not alone. If you just need somebody to talk to, just leave a comment or DM me on my socials. It's gonna be in the description box. And then speaking of that, I do offer coaching now and mentorship and readings and mediumship. So if you want any of that, just check everything gonna be in the description box, the show notes. So check it out if you want some spiritual advice from me. And I just want you to know you got this. The spiritual journey is not what everybody see of you. It's all about you and the divine and how you want to connect. You are a spirit having a human experience. So dive deep into your spirit and see who you truly meant to be in this lifetime. Ashe. All right, family. Until next time, if you want more things, certain things about a spiritual topic, leave a comment, a like, or just subscribe or share with somebody who might needs to hear this video. Much love.